Hey, Monty. Thanks for coming in, man.
Oh, no. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
Came in a little bit nervous. I can say when you sent me a text back and I got a chance to see some of the videos. I know you asked me beforehand, but I know what you was talking about.
Yeah.
And then I saw the videos like, hey, I'm very interested in this.
Yeah.
This is, to me, this is a gigantic step towards one's recovery.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things that just, I don't know, it helps me. So that's why really the core reason why I do it, but basically the show is called Recovery Check-ins. I just go through and, we talk about it's kind of set up the way I got the idea from, so what my deal when I hear people talk in groups that we're in, and that when I hear my story in them, and maybe if as I sit down to interview maybe somebody will hear their story within yours. So basically, you want to do a check-in like the way we do check-ins in groups?
Okay. Okay. With us being a one-on-one, okay, you would say check-in. You have sort of a topic or just
No
whatever.
topic.
No.
Just
Okay.
how are you doing? How are things
Okay.
going? How's your day? Just
Oh,
like we would do in group.
okay. I can say right now where I'm at, I have, as of today, I have 513 days of clean time from all substance. And from taking the medication, I got a chance to speak to my therapist yesterday. From the beginning, when he met me, he felt like I needed some sort of medication to get me along the way. And I guess I got some good news yesterday. He felt like I'm doing pretty good. He want to wean me off the medication now. I'm kind of okay with that, but then part of like I wasn't dependent on it, but more or less it got me to where I'm at right now. And he said, well, tell you what, if things push kind of show, we put you back on. But what he don't want me to feel is that I'm dependent on the medication. He don't want to let me know that the medication helped me along the way to a point where I can be on my own. And that was yesterday, so that was good news. I got a chance to see my son last week, drove over to Vegas, and he's my 29-year-old. And we're finally spending, I can say, quality time together, quality time. He blocked me out of his life for quite a while, and he had good reasons to.
Yeah.
And I can say now, 2 days ago, he called me, and we talked on the phone like 30 minutes. That is a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Between us.
Yeah.
That's exactly a long time. But as far as us getting together right now and having this interview, I like to consider this. You ever heard of the Heisman Trophy?
Yes.
Okay, that's a big achievement. I like to think of this as the America Award. This is a major breakthrough because I would have never imagined us getting together and doing something like this as far as interviewing each other as far as our sobriety is concerned. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm happy to have you. I'm happy to be able to do something like this and put it together. And it's a way for people to share their story, and who knows? If nothing else, you're helping me in my recovery today. So
Oh, this go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Believe me, it goes hand in hand.
yeah. So
I like to say something. I'm not trying to cut you off.
go ahead.
Okay. I think it was 2004. I was at the Salvation Army, and I was at my bottom 6-month program. And so it was like 54 guys there. And so I'm trying to find somebody who I could talk to. I'm just going through, just looking and looking. No. Then hell no. One guy stood out. He was a 22-year-old. His name was Chris. And we made a great connection. And I was able to visualize this is the one. And I kid you not, since we met and I would see you across the room, I said, He's the one. He's the one.
Yeah.
You had uh, a warm sense of humor. It's like, how can I put it in words? You was like, hey, you know what? This is something I want, and I
Yeah.
saw that in you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I try since I've come into recovery, I've tried to live my life honestly. Um, I think that's probably the biggest difference other than not drinking alcohol, just being honest about everything and being open. You know, I don't go around telling people that I'm an alcoholic that I first meet or that don't know me. But if if it ever comes up, I don't shy away from it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I definitely, people trying to get me to drink or whatever. So no, I can't.
yeah.
They keep persisting. Oh, come on, you can have just one.
I've
I'm like,
been there,
no,
been there.
no, I can't. I probably could, but I won't.
Nah.
Yeah, I'll have a lot more than that. I'm looking at my phone to see how many days I have. I keep forgetting every time I come on, so I can do my check in, and so
Okay.
we can even it up here. So I have today's 239 days.
Oh, that's getting very close.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a work in process. It's never ending. So, but you know, I'm just glad to have met you. You have been a big inspiration within the rooms for a guy who's been in it. For some of us newer people, you've been in it for quite some time.
Yeah.
I know that you have gone through it in and out, and then you're on a pretty good streak right now,
Oh yeah.
and so that's good. People love to hear you talk. Love how your personalities is. It just it's it gives you a I want to say warm or gentle feeling. Just that you're real easy. You're soft spoken. Um, you're just real easy to talk to and get along with. And you're always saying hi. You're always walking in the room with a smile on your face.
Well,
So
I can say this, Sam. Once upon a time, I didn't have that smile.
I bet.
I
Yeah.
didn't have that smile. But for the words you just presented, I would say thank you very much. And I feel like I earned them words
Yeah.
finally because it was once upon a time them words wasn't presented. It was more or less like people was looking at me like, hey, you know what? It's in you. It's in you. But I've learned is that knowing that it is within us, we have to see it for ourselves.
Yeah.
People on the outside can visualize it, but until we get to the area in life where we can visualize it, like, oh, okay, I know what they see now.
Yeah.
But with the addiction so strong, anchoring us down, we're not able to see it. And then hopefully, with that little bit of light, I can say for me, I had a great, great, great support team. A real good friend of mine, his name was Tim Tucker, and I kid you not, he never gave up on me. And his wife, Karen Tucker, I kid you not, they hung in there with me through thick and thin. And what I done to them, I would think they wouldn't even have nothing to do with me. But matter of fact, they turned around and every time I felt like it was the end of the road with them, they still showed up. So that let me know I had something worth living for. They have 2 grandsons, and guess what? I'm Uncle Monty.
Yeah.
So that lets me know, like, I don't know if you went through this experience, but I know I did. I had 2 options on the table. It was considered to be life or death. And death to me was first on the table. But now, since I'm enjoying life to the full extent, now I've found out what I would have been missing out on. The joy of being, speaking to you, speaking to other people's, spending time with my grandkids, my older boys. Like you said, walk in, people just love my smile. I would have missed out on that also too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the strength of one's addiction. That's what it was leading me to that area in my life. Just wanted to just end it, go to sleep, and I wake up, hey, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so you talk a lot about the ins and outs of it, because you struggle with it for quite some time,
Oh yeah.
from what I understand.
Oh, years.
Yeah. So take me to a time where right before addiction, and what was life like, for you?
Okay, I can say in the beginning it was just more or less like just having fun, being young, going to happy hours, drinking, hanging out with the gang, and then without me realizing it, I found myself indulging into the drugs, and then I involved myself in relationships, and kids got involved, and not realizing the addiction took over, and not realizing once you involve yourself in a relationship and having kids, it comes to be a responsibility.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even responsible for myself, let alone responsible for a marriage and kids. And it just got out of hand. And what I mean by that is I felt like I wanted out.
Yeah.
And well, with the drugs, the liquor, it helps you forget about the marriages, the kids, the responsibility. It does that for a short period of time. But once the effects wear off, the responsibility is still there.
Right.
Yeah. And from there, it just got stronger and stronger. I was just in and out, in and out. I joined a few group homes, figured that was the solution.
Right.
It would be over with. That's a quick fix. But realizing it wasn't because of eventually in time, I call it I don't know if you ever heard of the phrase called the gorilla.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It was like the gorilla building up in me. And once it built up in me, you go to the zoo, you look at the animals, they look so sweet and everything. And the next thing you open the cage, they attack.
Yeah.
And that's where my addiction took place. I wasn't opening it up. I felt like I was, but I wasn't. And it was more or less faking it to make it.
Right.
Uh, uh, I don't know if you ever heard the phrase, a bullshitter knows a bullshitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that game so well to a point where I was convincing myself, I was telling the truth. And then eventually after a while, I became this person. And with the different they call them character defects.
Mm-hmm.
I had quite a few of them, quite a few of them. But realizing where I'm at right now in life, I'm sort of late in the game. I'm 61 years of age. I wish I could have understood my addiction at an early stage in life, but I didn't. But I can say this to anyone: better late than never.
Yep.
And I'm glad that I'm here.
Yeah. Especially just the thought of, like you said, death was on the table for you. You know, uh, that was that always something that was on the table for you, or was that something that just came about years and years after of being in the cycle?
Years and years and going through the cycle. It was
Yeah.
just, I can say in the beginning it was on the table, and more it was like, in the beginning it was like a toss of a coin. Then after a while, it wasn't toss of a coin. It was like, making up my mind. Okay, how do you want to go about this? How do you want to do this? I never felt like I never got in a position where I wanted to like take a knife or a gun, anything like that. It was just more or less like I was a coward to a point. Maybe I can just go to sleep and ask God, could He grant this to me and just not wake up. But I would always wake up and I said, oh, I guess my prayer wasn't answered.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes. I mean, it sounds like
Yeah, I know.
asking God, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? Do you mind not waking me up the next day?
Well, yeah. I mean, anything's possible, though. As far as you thinking that is, I could see how that's possible because you are in the middle of addiction. You're not who you are today.
Yeah.
You are Monty, who is using or drinking or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see that that is off the table, and you're moving forward with your life. It's just you. We talk about in the rooms about keep coming back,
Oh yeah.
and 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 really, you've been a good example of that.
Yeah.
You've been a good example of that, of showing up, popping in frequently. Not just once a month or every other week or something like that. You're doing it all the time. So it's good to see somebody have that dedication, and it just because when you first hear somebody like you that says the amount of days that you have, and you're in it, and you only have 1 day, 2 days, 7 days, and then you finally get a month, and it's like, that's cool and all, but I don't, you with those first few days, you really don't think that you can make it to 200 days, 100 days, let alone 90, you know what I mean, or 60.
Yeah.
It just seems so
Yeah.
far off. Most people can't imagine themselves not being
With that.
not in addiction, or in trying it just for fun, or trying controlled drinking to where where your mind is telling you, hey man, you can have just one, you'll be all right. You
That's
can
the
have just
trickery of
one.
the addiction
Yeah.
too. Because I can say, as far as the words you just said, it's like it's almost like something's planted in you and it's never going to leave.
Yeah.
And I can say for me, learning how to live with it, going to like a convenience store, liquor is everywhere you go, no matter
Oh
what.
yeah. Yeah.
So we had to adapt to one's lifestyle, because when I go into 7-Eleven, I know what's on the left hand side, I know what's on the right side. Is there? Do I ever think about it? Does it cross my mind? Yes, it does. By me saying that, I'm being open, I'm being honest. For me saying, no, I'm okay, and I'm lying to myself.
Yeah.
Once you start being more honest with yourself, you find yourself moving forward. Because I can say, put it like this: nobody won't know, but guess what? You'll know. And once you come to that area that well, someone will know. I know, so I'm letting myself down. And once you come to that area, you find yourself, you start developing a love for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where I'm at, and this is what I've seen through my addiction. It's like I'm finally getting an opportunity, and I say the word again, opportunity to get a
Yeah.
chance to love myself.
Because it could have been taken away.
Oh, most definitely. I've been cheating myself out of life.
Yeah.
And it's like understanding, it's the word called the gift of life. And all these years, like, I've been abusing my gift.
Yeah.
And now I'm enjoying it for the
Yeah.
first time. I love it to death, man. I have a granddaughter. But I have 3 grandkids. But one of my granddaughter, she always constantly asks me, am I her favorite? I never tell her that she is, but through my addiction, it was like she was always there. So I don't want to consider her being my favorite. I don't want to ever tell her that. But it was like she was always there, and she was like my lifeline.
Yeah.
Until this very day, I look, and she asked me the same question. Grandpa, are you my favorite one? I said, baby, everyone's my favorite. I would
Yeah.
never tell her that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how old she is, but if
She's
she can,
10.
okay, well, if she can get on the internet, that she may see this one day. So I'd be careful.
Okay. Be careful what you say.
Yeah.
She may bite you.
She might say, see, I told you I was your favorite.
Yeah, she got her answer finally
Yeah.
on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I guess I want to get to why this time, but I also want to know, first off, have you had any other stretches this long of sobriety?
I most definitely had like 5 years, 7 years.
Right.
But that time that wasn't real clean time. That was more like a dry moment in my life.
Yeah.
Look,
You white knuckling it?
yeah, more like proving to the world, look, I could do it, I could do it. But I had some breaking points, and they was reservations.
Yeah.
It was like a matter of time. I would not recommend to no one, have a relapse, go through experience. I know I have one friend of mine. No, I have two friends that said they never want to go back. And one guy, he has 38 years clean, and one has 36 years clean. And these two guys told me something, and it made me aware of one sobriety day. He said, "Man, I'm gonna let you know something. I was BSing through all these years, and now I finally got a chance to be honest with myself. And I was lying to a lot of people about my, not about my clean time, but about my sobriety. And this is where I'm at. That helped me move forward because I felt like everybody was individuals, but not realizing we're all the same.
Yeah.
I don't care what nationality, color, or breed, or sex. It's like this made me come to the conclusion. Hey, this is a we thing.
Yeah.
It's most definitely a we thing.
Yeah, it's a universal issue. It affects every race, creed, social class, economic class. So it's just it affects well-off families, bad families, non-existent families. It's just every which way. I don't know that there's any. I'm sure there's categories that are more likely to use than others, but for the most part, and I think it just, I think, what I've found is that it affects us because we all live in this messed up world.
Yeah.
That's the equalizer. That we're all here and we all have to deal with the everyday mess of trying to raise a family and make money and to take care of that family and then that's really just glossing over everything that you have to do to survive.
Yeah.
To make it
Yeah.
to make ends meet, to make sure your kid has the best chance that they can possibly have, and all the while you are supposed to be upright and perfect at all times, and
Yeah.
that's not the case.
Nah, it's not.
Not
It's
I don't
not.
know any perfect person in this world, so it is what it is. But within saying that, would you going into it this last time? What made you? I have a feeling that you always wanted to, while in addiction, at least at the tail end of it, at least this last time, you 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 didn't want to use. Maybe you tried it because you said, I'll try it, and but and I can take care of it. I can deal with it. It's okay. Just once, whatever excuse that we give ourselves.
Mm.
But what I want to know is what led you to make a change this last time, and what was that like?
Well, I can say for me, this last go around, because I've been in 6 group homes, and this last go around, um, I felt like I was going crazy. It was like coming to the conclusion, I'm going crazy. And, I felt like I just wanted to tear my eyes out. I didn't want to see no more. So through the company I work for, which is a great, great company, uh, called my insurance company and got a chance to speak to a therapist. And the last thing was, I felt like I didn't want to see a therapist. But I said, you know what? This is my last go around. If this doesn't work, I'm supposed to call it quit. Saw through a therapist. He recommended some medication to me. And ever since that day, I kid you not, I have the capability of thinking now. I mean, you imagine these little pills that the size of them look like little bear aspirin.
Yeah,
And I started taking them, and I found myself thinking. I
yeah,
mean, logically now, believe it or not, like football season is here. I look at football games now. I'm keeping up with who's winning, who's losing, who's going to be at the Super Bowl this year, who's not going to be, and all
yeah,
this. And like that's incredible for me. Uh, Spending time with my grandkids, going to work, and not having to be people's looking at me. And that's the most funny part. This is the most funny part. I go to work and I'm thinking I was the only one. I'm finding out there's more employees going through what I'm going through.
Yeah.
I said, wow, it's like a movie. You're not alone.
Yeah.
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 Hope that was able to answer your question.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it did. So, um, it's amazing, like you said, now you're enjoying the little things. I would consider being able to watch football, the little things, just enjoying life that's going on around you, and you're free to find interest and it really enjoy them, because now you no longer have that cloud of addiction and alcohol, clouding that vision that you spoke about earlier.
I can say this, Sam. I have my own apartment, and I kid you not, it's a one bedroom. But this is the amazing part about it. I can sleep on the couch or sleep in the bedroom. It's like what I'm trying to get at. I have options now,
Yeah.
and I have choices. And what I mean by that, with the choices, I choose not to use no more. I choose to come to meetings. I choose to go to the program. I choose to pick up the phone and call somebody. And at first, I felt like I had no options, but now you do have choices, Molly.
Yeah.
And it's like the medication. Um, I don't want to give it 100% credit, because with the medication, it has to go hand in hand. I know people that spoke to me before about, this medication. I said, it's not a magic bean.
No.
I said, you got to be willing to go hand in hand with it. And then in that aspect, you'll find some results. And like I said, I had people come to me before, who's your doctor? I said, you can't go in with desperation, because you're hoping for it to be a miracle drug.
Yeah, a magic button that makes it all stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It don't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. But I think it's important for people like you that talk about it, that other people get to hear your story, because I think in the world itself, we've gone a long way as far as not as far as getting away from the old way of thinking that talking to a therapist or taking medication is a there's like a stigma with it. The old way, just pick up, just pull yourself up by the bootstraps, that type of terminology. Just be a man, that type of terminology. And the reason why I say it's important that people hear you is because you as a minority are saying that. And I think if there's any stigma still left, it's within our groups. I'm Hispanic, and it's not always, you don't see us going to the doctor to have our mental health looked at, to have it
Exactly.
addressed and all that. So
I can say this, Sam. You point out a real big area. What I mean by minority, what I mean by that is, when I first started going through the program, I didn't see my nationality there.
Yeah.
I felt like, am I in the right place? But in realization, that was my biggest issue, being concerned who's there.
right.
And I had to get past that area. Once I got past that area, I started moving forward. And with me, I don't care what nationality it may be or race it may be. I'm willing to help out that individual as much as I can. I don't go too far out, because certain people I can't reach, because that'll be out of my boundary,
Right.
because they could draw you back into your
Yeah.
addiction. And I've been there before.
Yeah.
I try to help certain individuals who's been out there, and then I try to assist them, and next thing you know, boom.
You're right there doing it with them. Hey, let me see that.
Hold on, man, stop hogging it. Yeah, but to answer that question, but yeah, it's like when I go to groups and everything, That
You don't see people that look like you or
nah,
look like me
that used to
even.
bother me,
Yeah.
but now it's like I put it like just different strokes for different people, whatever it takes. I'm not probably other nationalities going to certain areas or whatever, or certain belief or whatever.
I hope so. I hope so because I still don't see a lot of minorities in the group. You know, it's just it's one of those things that you know uh, for for us to talk about mental health and to see that the way that the way that we see our own health, that which we take care of our bodies horribly too, our medical system and all that. But as far as mental health goes, we really got to. I really hope that people start treating it a little bit different,
Yeah,
and not so much with maybe the maybe that everybody should be. I don't want anybody to think that oh, you got to go get on medication. Like you said, it's not a magic pill. That's
nah,
not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is at least we're looking at it. At least we're you know we are saying, what, hey, I might have an issue. I need
yeah,
to see somebody or do something about it. But that's awesome that you were able to do that. And it really shows that it can be done, and even in later in life. I remember looking at uh people that I in my life that were alcoholics and drunks, and growing up, I you you wrote them off like, oh, that's just that's them.
yeah.
That's the way
That
they're always
choice.
going to be. That's yeah. I mean, the choice, all that stuff that goes along with it, and we're supposed to be people of giving, of giving a hand up, giving second chances. We do that in most other areas of society, but when it comes to alcohol and drugs, it's not something that it's people are just written off.
Oh yeah,
And you know, I don't know. Uh, I want people to be able to see you and say, "Hey, it's not too late."
yeah.
You
I
know.
can say this to you, Sam. It's been proven through medical science years and years ago. Uh, I'm gonna say us for us
Hmm.
addicts who is considered to be thrown in the closet. That's them. But in reality, kind of prove that hey, this is illness. This is not only the United States. This is like worldwide. I went to a convention. I think it was 2005. It was up in Anaheim, and imagine it was like people from different states there were like, "Whoa!" But it's a true statement. Many would come, but only a few would be chosen. And I realized after 35 years. So that's why they have a saying in the big book, pray for the suffering addicts, because there are many of them out there that's really suffering. I can say us sitting here right having this interview, we are one of the fortunate ones. And I kid you not, we're one day away from our addiction, one
Yeah.
day away. And I had to go through.
1 minute
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. I had, I mean, for myself, I
Yeah.
had to go through it. Yes, I'm like, see for myself to believe it. Like your parents say you don't go into the kitchen and stay away from the oven. Me, I had to go into the kitchen and play with the fire. It is hot.
Yeah.
It is
It
hot.
just took you 30 years to
Yeah,
figure it
yeah.
out.
Cause I went in and wanted to try it again.
Yeah. Maybe it's not that hot this
Yeah,
time.
but I can say it now. I don't. I mean, I know you spoke earlier this evening about for us. You don't bring up your addiction, and I'm very wide open with mine. Very wide open. I mean, maybe at my job or anyone I speak to, and I found out when I do open up, they open up. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, they almost have this inner feeling like they're the only one. I said, no, you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone, and it helped me move forward a lot because I know I had a very low self esteem, very passive, and I didn't have love for myself. And like I said, I saw through a therapist, and I only tell my story. Everybody got a different story, how they, where they at, and how they made it. And mine is just something similar to other people's stories. And I just went down a different avenue. And people ask me, what made you decide you wanted it this time around? I said it was like, hey, this was the last straw. Hopefully, this solution may be the solution that gets me through my addiction. And I guess this was the one, and I thank God for this. This was the one that got me through it because, like I said, I would have missed out on a lot. I mean, my kids getting an opportunity to have this interview with you, speaking to others, let them know, hey, it's never too late.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. That's yeah. We should be open. We should be. I think people are. Now. It's. I think along with the internet and everything else, people are people can't hide from some of the things that they do and say. But you know, it just I don't know. Just seeing the change in you, um, and how you keep on coming back, and it's a good thing. It's a real good thing. You should, you know, hopefully we'll start seeing more and more of people coming in and staying. I think it's more than just a pill though for you. I think you also have a different outlook.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I'm at work. I kid you not. Work don't even seem like work no longer. It seems like a hobby. It seems like a means of income. And like I said in the beginning, it was like my life was like a toss of a coin, but for some reason, I kid you not, it's just like I want to live. I
Yeah,
finally want to live my life and go out there, and I'm always smiling. People's like, it's like I be at work like, why the hell he's always smiling? He's always happy. And I say, if you knew about yesterday, I'm smiling today. I know I was in a position where I can let me tell you how to show it. Okay, I was in a position, uh, got locked up, and it was like my second offense. And the judge showed me these are my choices. You have two choices. You can do a 6-month program, or you can do 6 years in prison. And so I'm sitting there thinking to myself, 6-month program or 6 years, what I want to do. It took me a while to come to the conclusion. Do the 6-month
yeah,
program. But this is where I'm at now. But now I make more logical decisions.
yeah,
For honey, what was you thinking?
yeah,
But in reality, with the addiction, I wasn't thinking. Now I
yeah,
have the capability of thinking and making choices, wise decisions.
yeah,
I pay my bills like my utility bills. They're caught up. I know I need gas in my
yeah,
car. I know my rent need to be paid. Uh, it'll be to a point where I can pay on my next check because the drug man, he may need this money.
yeah,
The lights off. How I'm gonna do my drugs? Well, let me go get a flashlight.
yeah. Turn the lights off. I'll be
Yeah,
all right. I got batteries.
yeah. But it took me a long journey. My mom told me, she said, "Monty, you're gonna be okay. You're a, a, a slow bloomer." And I'm like, well, damn, when I'm gonna bloom?
When's that gonna
Yeah.
happen?
But I can say it finally came. But I'm very excited that I'm able to be an inspiration to others because I never felt like I'd be in that area where people look towards me for advice. I said, me? But
Yeah,
all I do now, I don't give them any advice. All I do is tell them my story and what I've been through. And hopefully because we all have a story, believe it or not.
yeah,
We all have a story to what got us to this point in our life.
yeah, for sure. I mean, we all have the. Yeah, I just. Yeah, we all have. What do you do on on those bad days when because somebody, I'm sure in these days of being sober and in recovery, you still have bad days.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How do you combat that, and is that a form of retraining your mind?
I can say retraining your mind. What I mean by that is that uh, when I'm going through a bad day, I try to reflect on what the past was like and what I have now. And it's when I do that, it's more or less not as difficult because what I was able to get through in the past, uh, doing prison time, being homeless, uh, difficult marriages, having kids. And now that I sit back there and anything I go through like a difficult moment, I reflect on my past and I'm like, Monty, you were strong enough then, you can be strong enough for this moment. And I learned is that this shall pass.
Yeah.
And learn it'll pass. It's a time period, how it passed and how you handle it. Some people handle it in a situation like it's stressful, it's the weight of the world on you. No, it's not the way to work. It's how you handle it. What I learned is it's a plate with certain items on it. Tell you what, let's just take certain things off this plate this time. I say you kind of find out this is too much to handle, but let's take it off the plate. But it's important. Well, evidently, is that important or are you important? I'm important.
Yeah.
You always got to look at you important, no matter. It seems to be a selfish attitude, but sometimes you have to be, because in realization to keep your insanity, keep your sobriety, because once you lose your insanity and sobriety, you're back at square one. So why didn't I do this in the beginning? I mean, this helps me. I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
sense or not.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, it surely does. I mean, just I always reflect on, because I didn't want to continue drinking. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. My body was dependent on it, and so I it's just I look back not with guilt, but I look on the past and go, remember what that remember what that was like.
Yeah, yeah.
Always remember that feeling and that horrible that sensation of needing another drink, or whatever. So it's it's I wouldn't trade it for you know for the world or for anything actually. I wouldn't trade my outlook, my mental well-being, my health well-being, my physical well-being for any of it, and really it's not a selfish I don't think it's a selfish endeavor. I What I think it is that in order for us to be helpful to anybody else, we have to be able to take care of ourselves.
Oh, most definitely. You most definitely got to take care of yourself. Because I can say something I noticed about you, Sam. I kid you not. Every Tuesday night, it would be a graduation.
Yeah.
And something you did not say and something that you are doing. 9 times out of 10, they say, I'm coming back. And I hope to not hear that word, but
Yeah.
you didn't say that word.
Nuh-uh.
And I said, "Oh wow, okay, good." And I mean, I don't want to put pressure on the person,
Yeah.
not to say that word. I feel like it need to come from them. And
Yeah.
since you said that, and I see you showing up, that excites me. But like I said, when I sought you out, I said, "He's the one. He's the one." And I keep on seeing you, and that's the good part. What I mean by that is being connected and then time being fully connected. It's almost like you have a fan, you plug it up. Why is it not working? Well, let's backtrack.
Right.
Maybe I didn't pay my utilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we get a full connection.
Yeah.
That's something I learned. Okay, even though you plug it up, but you need to get a more fuller connection. did you go to work? Did you pay the bills? And like
Yeah.
these are the sequence. But like get an opportunity to see you come every day. Like, wow, okay, good. Because I know since I've been coming the last couple of years, people slowly drop off, drop off. It doesn't bother me because it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
don't let. I mean, I always tell everybody, don't let that discourage you.
Yeah. Well, it's almost our first nature, so it's kind of like what, why would we always be there, But I, I, it's what's helped me, and that's what I tell people all the time, going to group, staying connected with people has has helped me. Um, is what got me to where I'm at, and if that's what's working, I'm going to continue doing it
Oh yeah,
because I don't want to go back. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I really don't, and I do. It's not something that I don't. I'm doing everything. I'm clawing tooth and nail to try and make sure that I'm set up for when I do have bad days or for when I am triggered and want to have a drink. I can look at not just what it was like when I wanted to quit, but also what was life like if today's bad, what was life like yesterday when I wasn't using?
yeah.
And remembering how good it was and how good I feel in the moment and today, and trying to stay with that. So
Well,
it's
Sam, I can say this to you. Uh, I've been doing this program for 36 years, and I kid you not, I don't have this trophy with me. It's called the Nobel Prize. This is the Nobel Prize right here. I would never imagine something like this. So I can say this, Sam. I can't put it in stone, but you have a great opportunity. You have a chance of being successful with your sobriety. Uh,
yeah,
I'm lost for words really right now because this interview right now between the two of us just shows that you're soul searching.
yeah,
You you listen to others. Hey, I'm taking from this person, that person, to try to like come together with one big solution. How this could be done because it's a true statement. If you go to the barber shop in time, you will get a haircut. And I've been to the barber shop a lot. I sat there and believe it or not, I walked out with a haircut.
yeah,
It's a true statement. But I really feel like you have I can't predict the future, but this is something that you come along and put together. You have a great shot at it. You really do.
yeah. Well, I hope so. Time will tell. I that's the thing is that's what I because part of it too is in I was talking to Joe was on the podcast, Tall Joe.
Yeah, Bama Joe.
Yeah. Um, he, I see him fighting for sobriety and also fighting for his life and his health.
Yeah,
He
health
needs
issues.
he needs that liver. So and he wants to stay sober in good health and in bad health. And that's the same for me. No matter what's going on in my life, I want to stay sober. So if my wife leaves me, I need to know how to stay sober. If my kids get sick, I need to know how to stay sober. If one of my parents passes, because it's gonna happen,
Oh yeah, definitely.
I want to stay sober. I don't want to. I want to be able to learn how and have the tools to stay sober.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. And the thing is that nobody has it's come up with a magic pill. So, this is what we're
It's
doing.
not.
This is it.
Yeah, it's. I can say for me, Sam, it took a support team. That was. I won't say that was the magic of my sobriety, but I can say that's what kept me together. My boys, very very good friends. I can say the store manager, the company I worked for, uh, he was there for me. Matter of fact, he came to the group home to visit me, and that's when I said, wow. But it just let me know that he cared. Not that it was his job, but
Yeah.
he cared enough to see something in me. And like I said in the beginning of the interview, uh, this support team was able to see something I couldn't see.
Yeah. Well, that, and it also showed you too that you did have, even at your lowest point, you did have an impact on somebody's life. That store manager, he didn't have to go see you.
No, no.
So you had some type of impact on him,
Yeah.
and he was really rooting for you. So
Oh yeah.
that says a lot.
To this very day, he moved out of town, and to this very day, we still keep in contact. And they're like, if I don't text him, and I do text him later on, hey, I was wondering about you. How you doing? It's like, so what I do is I always constantly contacting people to let them know I'm okay.
Yeah.
If I don't, they're like, hey, is money okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a good feeling right there.
Yeah. To know that somebody else, is wondering about you. It is.
Yeah, have a good. Like I was telling you, my greatest support was Tim Tuckett and Karen Tuckett. I mean, they was a great support. I remember I lived with them for 2 years, and Karen, she would make sure I was at home, and if I wasn't at home, she would call and call and call. Monty, I would hear that voice,
Mm-hmm.
and I would sit there. Hey, I'm on my way. I'm on my way, and really I didn't want to go, but they was there for me. They was there, and if anybody asks me what helped me through my sobriety, what's helped me keep my sobriety, I would say a great support team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's important that you get connected and stay, in contact with like-minded people, that are trying to stay away, try to not just stay away from alcohol, because it's not just that what we're trying to do.
Life.
It's trying to have a good life. It's
Yeah.
trying to better our life. It's a complete change. They say that, um, people say, do I have to change everything? Well,
You do. I don't want to.
no, but everything's going to have to change or whatever. I forgot how it goes, but yeah, I mean, you got to change everything. It's got to be a complete 180, and to give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
If you want a chance.
It's a true statement.
Yeah.
Like it was told to me, what I had to change. You only got to change one
Yeah.
thing. One thing.
That's it.
You get excited. What is that one thing? Everything.
Yep. That's what it is. Yeah, I got it wrong.
Yeah, it's like starting a new life. And that's why I say, like, in recovery between 5 to 7 years, because it takes that amount of time to learn how to live a different life.
Yeah.
Like going to a wedding. Do you go to a wedding because they're going to have liquor there?
Yeah.
Are you able to? Okay, I'm going to go to the wedding, but I'm not going to sit at this table. I'm going to sit at this table. So you change your direction.
Yeah.
It would be okay to have a toast because it's a wedding. No, it's not okay.
Yeah.
So don't get that little thought in the back of your mind, because that little thought does pop up.
Yeah. It can definitely sprout into something, that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
It does. No, it does. You do. You change everything about life and learn. Well, the thing is that the reason why there's no magic pill or something is you've spent, a good portion of your life being an alcoholic, being dishonest,
oh yeah,
being all the horrible words that you can think of. And that doesn't change just because you stop drinking.
yeah.
That doesn't change in 6 months. That doesn't change in a year. It's going to take a lot of time. That's why I say, it's a process. You got to change. It's just not going to happen. So,
because you've been living this certain way for so many years, certainly hard to be this person this many years. So you got to equal that by
yeah,
number of years. It's
double
gonna take
it.
So yeah. So it's called do the math.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Monty. You don't know how much I appreciate you having you come on, but not just that, also seeing you in group, giving words of encouragement, the text messages, and all that. You know, everything is. I really appreciate you've been more than you know. You've been a big part of my sobriety, so I want to thank you.
Likewise, I can say likewise.
All right, man.
All right,
Appreciate it.
all
Thank
right,
you.
all right, good night, Sam. Take care.
Yeah.